For a long time I thought I was ugly, and I genuinely believed that I couldn't do anything about it. I thought I was ugly simply because I had a round face, and I thought that people like me would never be able to attract girls like I wanted. It was only when I adopted a positive mindset, when I started losing weight and working out, that I discovered that progress was possible. So I started to believe that I could make some progress on my face too. I did some research and found a bunch of things, and I found that there are around 5 things that can truly change how attractive your face is, and it's worth implementing all these. So here's a picture of me before applying all this, and this is a picture of me 2 years later. There are only 6 things that matter in terms of facial attractiveness: low body fat, tongue posture, head posture, neck size, face exercises, and beard. And we are going to discuss exactly how to improve all this. Obviously there are things that we can change, so we won't talk about them because I particularly believe that it is a waste of time. There are literally thousands of things that can influence your attractiveness, but thinking about things that you can change is pointless. So let's go through in order of importance. First, low body fat. This is obvious and common sense, but many people still have a body fat percentage too high, and many others are overweight, just like I was. The ideal body fat that you should set your goal of is around 10 to 15%. This is when your abs are completely visible. You may even have some veins around your abs and your V-lines, and you'll have a sharp jawline with no baggy skin underneath. One huge point that no one mentions in terms of low body fat is that to look even better at a low body fat percentage, you want to weigh more. You simply want your body weight to be as high as possible while also remaining lean. And the way to do that is to bulk up first and then cut to get leaner. This is what I looked like at 140 pounds, and I was fairly lean, but you can see that my face didn't exactly look chiseled. Whereas when I put on a fair amount of muscle 1 or 2 years later, this is what I look like at 170 pounds. You can see a big difference in my jawline. The more that you weigh while being lean, the better that you look. Focus on increasing your body weight and then cutting. Tongue posture. Tongue posture is very important and something to be mindful of 24/7. Here's what people look like when they are mouth breathers, and here's what people look like when they breathe from their nose. I've been a mouth breather for most of my life. My nose would always be clogged, and I realized how to fix this. The best and easiest solution that I found was to get nose straps. I may need surgery to open up my holes a little bit more, but nose straps really work for me. If you don't have this problem, you simply need to breathe from your nose more. Wait, let me explain if it sounds too stupid and too obvious. If your nose is blocked most of the time or is a little stuffy and you feel like you can breathe properly, when this happens, we just have the tendency of breathing from our mouth. But here is where you need to force yourself and sit quietly and try to breathe from your nose as much as possible. It would be like some sort of meditation, and in the beginning you might feel it is hard, but the more you breathe from your nose when you feel like this, the more you'll breathe from your nose overall, even when you sleep. Breathing from your nose allows you to assume the correct tongue posture, which is when your mouth is closed and your tongue presses up against the top of your mouth. And you really want to focus on getting most of your tongue against the top of your mouth, not just the tip, but most of it. It takes some practice though. This literally changes how your face is perceived. Once again, these are pictures of me before starting to do this. Some even used to say that I had a feminine face, and 2 years later I still remember that picture near the sea where you can see that my face literally had changed. Head posture. Head posture is very important and is so overlooked in terms of facial attractiveness. Everyone, especially you, has some terrible head posture because of all the technology. Everyone's got their neck like this because we are always using the phone looking downwards. Sometimes I'm in the gym and I literally see people using their phones like this, like, what the hell, bro? Here's 2 simple habits to improve your head posture. First, imagine a streak pulling the top of your head upward. This instantly aligns your spine, lifts your chin slightly, and resets your posture. Second, try the 2-finger chin tuck. Gently press your chin straight back using 2 fingers, hold for a few seconds and release. It might feel weird, but it trains your neck to stay in a healthier and more confident position. Repeat this a couple of times throughout the day, and over time it'll fix your head posture and sharpen how your face and jawline look. The size of your neck instantly changes how people perceive you. A thicker, more muscular neck makes your jawline look stronger and your posture more dominant, and your overall appearance more balanced. In fact, studies show that men with thicker necks are often perceived as more masculine and physically capable. Even if your face doesn't change, a well-developed neck can create the illusion of a more defined jaw and a more powerful presence. If you see a picture of a man's face where you can see his neck but the body is cropped out, you can have an illusion of his overall physique. A man with a thicker neck will give the impression of being more jacked, while a thin neck can make you look weaker and less attractive regardless of your body. If you want a thicker neck, start with neck curls. Just lie on your back, lift your head slightly, and move your chin toward your chest. You can also flip over and do the same movement face down, lifting your head slightly as if you're nodding yes in reverse. This works the back of your neck and helps create a thick, solid look from every angle. The fifth thing you can do to improve your facial attractiveness is the face exercises, and these are generally kind of weird. I'll be completely honest, I don't really do that much, but there is one thing that I can heavily recommend you, which is to chew harder food. The shape of our skull and jaws are getting smaller because we are chewing very soft processed foods. Any food that's rough and hard like nuts is very helpful for training the muscles around the jawline, and you can also do a bunch of different facial exercises which look kinda weird, but you could try anyway. And finally, the last thing you can do is grow and also shave your beard to improve your facial attractiveness. Beards are a big factor in perceived facial attractiveness, especially because they can drastically change how a face is framed and perceived. Beards can enhance facial structure by creating the illusion of a stronger jawline, more angular features, and a more masculine appearance. But it's not just about looking more rugged. Studies have shown that facial hair can influence how people perceive dominance, maturity, and even trustworthiness, depending on the style and how well it is groomed. For example, a short stubble is often rated as the most attractive in studies. Full beards tend to signal strength, maturity, and fatherhood, and clean-shaven faces are linked with approachability and youth. Now you know what you need to do to become more attractive. Goodbye.